Episode 2. The Prophecy Under the Moon. Weeks later, during a moonlit gathering. It was on the third moon of the planting season. When the wind stood still. When birds grew silent. When the night sky blinked, and the oldest tree in Umuoma dropped 3 sacred seeds at once. The elders gathered quickly. Old Daikoka, the chief priest, his beard white like cotton, stood beside the ancient shrine of Oni. He raised his staff, and the people circled him in silence. Chidi Aichi Noebia. A great change approaches. That night, they read the omens in fire, in feathers, in water. The flames danced left, then right, then left again. Daikoka's voice trembled as he spoke. 3 children born of one village will carry the curse of the broken god. And 1, born of silence, will bring healing through fire. The people murmured. Mothers clutched their daughters. Fathers looked toward the hills. That same night, Ikema felt a kick in her womb, her first. Afoma dreamt of a burning river. Onyema woke crying, unable to explain why. And in the shadows of the forest, Nko returned from the hunt, with eyes wide and skin cold. I saw them, he whispered to Afo. Faces in the trees. Watching us. Not man. Not animal. Something old. The men said nothing. But deep in the earth, something had shifted. Umuoma had lived in peace for generations. But now, the drums of fate were beginning to beat. This is the story of the prophecy. And of how the blood of unity may one day be tested by fire. End of episode 2. Episode 3, The Child of the River. A year after the prophecy. 1 season passed, and the village of Umuoma continued with her heartbeat. The people kept planting. The women kept singing. The men danced in masquerade with feathers, cowries, and painted faces, masking the quiet fear growing beneath their joy. But the earth was changing. On the first day of harvest, a cry pierced the morning fog, not of sorrow, but of birth. Ikema had given birth to a boy. His eyes, wide, unblinking. His first breath made the sacred python in the priest's compound rise and coil without command. They named him Obiajulu, the heart that has come to rest. That same night, it rained heavily, yet not a single drop touched Ikema's rooftop. Days later, Afoma bore a girl, soft as silk, gentle as river water. But when the umbilical cord was buried, the soil refused to close. Onyema, still too young to bear a child, fell sick that week, haunted by dreams of drowning in dry sand. Meanwhile, Nko kept returning from the forest with strange wounds he could not explain. The elders whispered. Was this the prophecy? Was Obiajulu the child of fire, or the curse? Only one thing was certain. The land no longer slept. And Umuoma was no longer alone. End of episode 3. Episode 4. When spirits whisper. The winds began to speak. They rustled leaves not with breeze, but with language. Children woke up crying. Goats ran from their pens. Fishermen cast nets that returned empty. On the 7th market day, the chief priest Daikoka called a gathering. Drums echoed from the village square. Masquerades danced not for celebration, but for cleansing. The elders sat beneath the orji tree. And Daikoka spoke. We are being washed. He held up a calabash. Inside it, feathers, fire ash, a cracked tortoise shell. An unseen eye walks among us. Not spirit. Not man. Something in between. That night, Onya went fishing and never returned. His canoe was found floating upright, untouched. His paddle still inside. But the water was calm, too calm. Onyema, his betrothed, screamed his name into the wind, but got no echo. At his funeral rites, The sacred masquerade refused to dance. A path has opened, the spirit priest whispered. One that cannot be closed. And from that day, the laughter of Umuoma became a little quieter, a little colder. As if the ancestors were waiting, watching for what comes next. End of episode 4. Episode 5, Blood in the Rain. It was the rainy season. Thunder walked across the sky like a giant with no rest. And the air smelled of sorrow. The village prepared for the festival of Ikoma, the feast of renewal. But joy was hard to find. Ikema's son, Obiajulu, now crawling, began to speak strange words in his sleep, a tongue no one taught him. Afoma's daughter, Miriameme, sat by the river daily, talking to someone only she could see. And Nko, the hunter, returned from the forest and wept for the first time. They are here, he said. They wear the skin of trees. They sing in silence. They follow us. The next night, during a village meeting, the shrine burst into flames, though no one touched it. The rain fell, but the fire refused to die. In the chaos, Daikoche collapsed, his final words. The child of fire must choose. Before the drums of death begin. As lightning cracked the sky, Ika lifted Obiajulu in his arms. His voice broke as he whispered, "What are you, my son? A blessing or a storm?" Far away, deep in the forest, a figure watched the village with glowing eyes. The first blood had been spilled. Not by knife, not by war, but by silence. And the drums of death had begun to play. End of episode 5. If this story moved you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. More powerful episodes are coming. Thank you for your support.